Fellows, welcome back to the More Than Average Men podcast. I am your host, Michael Benton, and you are either watching or listening to episode 23. Yo, welcome back to the show. I greatly appreciate you guys tuning in with me. If this is your first time, welcome. If you guys have been already tapping in with me, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. It is literally 7:31 in the morning. This is actually my first time ever filming a podcast episode in the morning. Typically, I do my episodes in the evening because obviously the juices are flowing and right, I'm already kind of into things. But this morning's journaling session really sparked the topic that we're going to talk about, and I felt I just wanted to do this morning, right? So we're trying something new, and I feel good. I have my coffee. I haven't had anything to eat yet, but your boy is straight, so we're good. So with that being said, today's episode the topic of it is growing among adversity. Okay, growing among adversity. I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of a backstory as to where this topic came from, and then we'll get right into it of what I wanted to share with you guys. But I think a little bit of a backstory of how I got to where I am in this moment will give you guys some clarity and some understanding of where I'm coming from. So I have my life insurance license, and I took a position as a 1099 position last month, beginning of April, to sell life insurance to a select group, right? A select group of people. And I like what I do. I enjoy it. I enjoy helping families, put them in a better position. If there's a need for that, right? If there's a need. I've always been, as far as like in my sales experience, I've never been one to I don't push people. I ask questions, just like I do with my podcast, just like I do with my life coaching business. I ask questions, right? And so, again, if there's a need there, great. If there's no need there, great, right? Keep it moving, you know what I mean? And so, never been one of those guys who's like, I'm going to force you to buy something from me, right? That's just not my MO. So, but anyway, so I've been in this position for a month. Prior experience, I've worked on the phones before. I've sold products, health insurance over the phone before. Worked in customer service. I have an extensive sales and just people relationship background as far as my skills. So, and then obviously the company that I'm with, they give great training. We have mentors that we talk to every day. We train literally every day, right, to get better. And so with that, but I'm super hard on myself. And I think I told you guys this before. I'm very hard on myself because I have a very high expectation of what I want for myself, where I should be. And I'm working on that, right? I need to work harder on that, but I'm working on that because I know that's part of my Achilles heel. That's part of the thing that is stopping my manifestation, things from coming to fruition, is myself. I'm blocking myself because of my expectations. And I don't know if I told you guys this before, but each morning that I pray, a prayer that I say to myself every single morning is, I surrender my fear and my expectations, and I trust in your guidance and your support. Universe, I surrender my fear and my expectations, and I trust in your guidance and your support. And so I say that every morning. And the reason why I say that particular prayer is because, again, there are things that I obviously fear, which is uncertainty, not knowing where, what's going to happen and where things are going to come from, and being out of my comfort zone, right? The place in which I know so well, you know what I mean? And so I say that prayer to just surrender those feelings and that understanding that being guided into a position, into a path in which was meant for me. So that's where that prayer comes from. But through this, I'm facing a lot of adversity. Now, there's two things that are happening with me. I understand that with adversity comes failure, comes growing pains, comes maybe a little bit of turmoil, stress, possibly a little bit of doubt. I understand all that. I also stand on the flip side that even amongst those things, I'm still growing. There's an experience level of accomplishment there. There's an experience level of awareness that's tracking at the same time, right? So if you think about climbing a hill, you got on one side, you got stress and doubt and fear and all those things. And on the other side, you have the accomplishments and the awareness and the growth that, hey, it's all happening. And at some point, while those things are moving at the same time, I'm still moving upward, right? There's still growth being happening. And so I do recognize that, but yesterday, man, like I had a pretty rough day mentally yesterday because I'll just give you guys a real quick synopsis, right? So I had several appointments set up, and I'm like, okay, I got these appointments set up. I'm going to talk to these families, and my first appointment I think was at my time was going to be like at 12 o'clock, right? So I had a one at 12, I had one at 2, and then I had one at like 4:30. First one no shows me, right? Go to the appointment, they don't show up. Call them, they don't answer. Text them, they don't answer. Okay, cool. Uh, my 1 o'clock or my 2 o'clock appointment comes up. They don't show up. Call them once, they don't answer. Call them again, they answer, and they give me some excuse about, oh, they got sick and they're in the hospital now. And I'm like, whatever. All right, whatever. Cool. 4:30 or my 4 o'clock comes up. Doesn't show up. Text them, call them, and they're like, "Oh, we got to reschedule." And I'm like, "So," and now, mind you, it's not just that day, right? Like, there's been multiple days of which those things have happened, right? People don't show up, or whatever the case may be, or I have a presentation, but then I don't get the sale, or I don't help a family, or whatever, right? So there's a multitude of these days where it's like, man, I feel like I'm climbing, right? I'm just climbing and I'm climbing and I'm climbing. It's like being on a ladder and I can see the top of the ladder. And then once I get to the top of the ladder grows. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? And so it's just like, I understand what is happening. I understand. I fully do. I understand what is happening, right? Like, in order for you to reach somewhere where you've never reached before, you're going to have to do things that you've never done before, right? You're going to have to face things that you've never faced before. I totally get that. I am very much aware that, okay. But, right, even then, I've conditioned myself, and I think we've all been in this place before, at least I'm assuming, where we've conditioned ourselves enough in life where we've faced more of the stress, the doubt, the fear, the uncertainty than we have the growth that comes with adversity. And so what outweighs what? The stress outweighs the accomplishment of the 1% that you're getting better, right? The doubt outweighs that. The fear outweighs the good. And so you tend to focus on what is not working versus what is actually working. And so yesterday was a very good example of me, kind of tuning in and focusing on what isn't working. Where am I not at in this moment? Why am I not getting the results that I want to get in the time frame that I want to have them? And so after that last appointment didn't show up or whatever rescheduled, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling like going back to work. I wasn't feeling like making more phone calls. And so I told my mentor, I was like, "Yo, bro, I'm out. Like, I need to get out of the house because I work from home. I need to get out of the house. I need to hit the gym. I need to release. You know what I mean? Just thoughts." And so what I did was went to the gym, which had a good gym session. It was nice to get out and do something physical. And then when I came back, I didn't watch any TV because I felt like that was not going to help me kind of push through whatever it is I'm pushing through. So I put some candles on. I made some food, and then I journal. I put some meditation music on, and I just journaled. And then I had a friend of mine actually call me, and we kind of talked through some things, and she was allowed me to lean on her shoulder, right? And just kind of heard me vent or whatever for a little bit. And so that was super nice. That was super helpful and stuff. And so, so that's where this topic stems from. That's where this topic comes from. And so I think one of the things that I want you guys to recognize as you're listening to my particular experience is that I want you to recognize what is happening inside of yourself, right? I want you to recognize that, yes, you're going to feel the turmoil. You're also going to feel the growth, right? And what you're pursuing, it is working, right? It is working. So no matter how high that mountain seems to get, right? Or no matter how many steps you seem to take up that mountain, and it feels like, man, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm only seeing failure. I'm only seeing rejection. People are only telling me no, right? I also want you to recognize that there's another side to that mountain. There's two sides to a mountain, right? And so on the one side, you're only focused on what it is, the negative stuff. But I want you guys to be aware and recognize that on the other side of that mountain, as you're going up, there's growth there. There is personal growth there, right? You're getting 1% better each day. The goal is not to go from 0 to 100, right? And especially for me, like I've been at my job a month. Again, with my own high expectations, I expect to be here, like right away, right? And to have all these amazing results. And I gotta really, that's one thing that I really have to work on for myself is slowing down, right? And really, if I'm gonna say the prayer and surrender those fears and those expectations to a higher power, then I need to have faith that's happening. That's going to happen. And so that's something I gotta work on, right? But I just want you guys to recognize that you are growing, you are changing, you are ascending, right? It's just maybe not happening in the time frame that we want it to happen. And if we don't stop and recognize that we are still winning, then it's easy for us to want to quit. It's easy for us want to shy away from continuing on that path of that adversity, right? It's easy for us to want to give into our fears and our doubt and tell ourselves we're not worthy of what we're trying to go after. Maybe the goal's too big, right? Maybe I'm just dreaming too much and this is not the life for me, which is far from the truth. Far from the truth, right? And I think we've all created this normalcy to feel stress, to feel pain, discomfort more vividly than we have growth transformation, right? That we try to escape it as fast as we can. I think we've all in our lives focused more on the negative things than we have on the positive things. And that's why it's become so easy for us to get down, to doubt ourselves, because that's what we know. We know when we face adversity, we don't like it. We don't like the discomfort. So we're like, oh, the easiest thing to do is to bag out or go a different direction or pivot, right? To try and avoid it. Right. So if we look at people that have exceeded in their life, that we would label as a success, that have gone through adversity, they've all shared their stories about how they've had so many failures in their life. You look at Will Smith and Oprah and Jim Carrey and authors like J.K. Rowling, right, of the Harry Potter series. If you look at her story, like she submitted that draft of that story to I want to say 30 plus publishers, and no one wanted to pick it up, right? Until that one publisher who believed in the story picked it up. And now look what she's created. You know what I mean? So it's just like everyone has gone through anything that is great at wanting to pursue. You're going to have to do things, and you're going to have to become someone that you've never become before in order to reach those things. And I think there's a lot of qualities that play into that, but everyone has had to face the adversity, and that's just the key is just to stick with it, right? The key is just to stick with it, and don't try to ignore what you're feeling, but embrace it. You know, that is the very thing that's going to change your life. Like I think a lot of the times, we try to, we may feel a certain way and we try to ignore it, work more, right? We hit the gym, we drink, we smoke, we watch TV, we do whatever it is that you do to avoid what is happening, what is feeling in your body. That's like our most common reaction to do that, right? Because it's like, ooh, it's nope, discomfort, don't want to feel that. Let's do something else. Let's trick ourselves into not feeling that. It doesn't exist, and it does, and it doesn't help. And so I think that the best route, at least what I've experienced, is to just, if you're feeling certain emotions or whatever, have a seat, relax, recognize and acknowledge that feeling that you're having, that emotion that you're having, and sit with that and allow that to be there. Allow it, because the more that you try to push it down within yourself, the larger it gets, and it never goes away. It only gets bigger, and the problem gets larger, right? So I think that, like I said, it's just we're so used to being able trying to escape the feelings that come with adversity. That's why most of us don't achieve the things that we achieve, because we quit too soon. That leads me to the next point that I want to make with you guys. And that's okay. So if we recognize that and we understand that, then how do we get ourselves to a place where you can feel the pain and still move forward? All right. And I'm going to share some things that have worked for me and that are working for me. And hopefully, that'll work for you guys as well. So how do we get ourselves to a place where we can still feel the pain, we can still go through the adversity, and yet we still want to move forward with it instead of retreating and giving up and quitting, right? And trying to pivot and trying to avoid it. And I would say the first thing is faith, right? Faith is reliance and trust on something higher than yourself, right? Having faith that you're being guided. You are exactly where you need to be in this moment. You are exactly where you need to be, right? There is no coincidence, right? This is your path. You know what I mean? And so from here is where you either continue on that path or you pivot. But whatever happens, whatever transgression, whatever direction you go in, that's the direction that you're supposed to go in, right? I think for me anyway, I believe it's all mapped out. I believe it's all mapped out, and we think, right, consciously that we're making these choices, which we are making these choices, but they've already been made, right? That's my understanding and belief. But yeah, just having faith that, listen, you're where you're supposed to be. You're being guided, right? And I think that if you have faith in whatever it is that you believe in, then you'll understand that, and then you'll get that. I also think that another aspect too is having belief, right? And belief is just what we take to be true, right? And for me, I believe in myself. So I think you need to believe in yourself. You need to make that as true as possible for you, that you do believe in yourself, right? And that you are built for this, and knowing that no matter what, you're going to succeed. Knowing that no matter what you face, knowing that no matter what you feel, you're going to succeed. No matter how long it's going to take you, you're going to succeed. You're going to succeed. It's going to happen. It's inevitable, right? And so have that belief within yourself. And obviously, if you don't have that belief within yourself, and you can't create that feeling within yourself, or that trueness, then there's some work that needs to be done, right? That you need to go within yourself and really do some healing. Because obviously there's some things in your past, maybe in your childhood or whatever the case may be, in which there's a belief within inside you that you don't deserve whatever it is that you deserve, right? Or you don't believe that you can achieve great things, or that you can overcome things, right? And that's a belief within yourself that you have to work out. I also believe leaning on others, those in your circle that are uplifting, those in your circle that allow you to lean on their shoulders, and that want to be there to listen and to possibly guide you, and to give you inspiration, and to motivate you, and to give you maybe share their experiences with you. But I think having a circle in which is like-minded is definitely going to help, because you're not alone. You don't have to do these things alone. I don't have to do these things alone, and I'm not doing them alone. I have a great team around me. The mentors that I work with, the people in the organization, like, they're wanting to see me succeed. So they're doing everything they can to put me in position to do that. And that's super helpful, because I don't have to go through that alone. I don't have to figure things out by myself, right? I have a team of people around me. I have close friends that I'm like, yo, I'm going through it. It's like, what you need? You know what I'm saying? Like, you need me to call you? Like, what's going on? What can we do? Let's talk this through. You know what I mean? And so if you don't have a team like that, if you don't have people around you that are not aiding in your embetterment, is that a word? I'm not even sure if that's a word, but aiding in your success, then you got to find a different team, bro. Like, you have to find different people, right? Because trying to do this alone, whatever it is that you're pursuing, listen, it will probably only get you so far, but it won't get you far enough. You know what I mean? You'll reach limitations. So I think leaning on others is super, super important, because, those that can't see it for themselves can't see it for you either, right? Those that can't see that for themselves, the success, the belief, the faith, definitely can't see that for you either. And that's definitely not who you want to be surrounding yourself with, taking wisdom from, right? Having conversation with, spending your time with. That's not helping you. I would also say journaling. I pretty much mention this almost every episode, but journaling has definitely allowed me to just release the thoughts that I've have within myself, the feelings that I have with myself. If you're not a big writer, you don't like journaling, whatever, then do it through conversation. Talk it out. Find someone. Have a conversation with yourself. Go in the mirror and just talk with yourself, right? Lean on your faith. Have a conversation with the higher power, whatever it is you believe in, and have a conversation and talk it out. But you got to release it. You gotta, whatever it is that you're feeling, it can't just be bottled up, right? And allow yourself, don't try to let your pride or your ego, tell you otherwise. And say, oh, I'm a man. I can do this. I'm strong. I got to stand 10 toes down. Like, sure, that's an option for you. Is that the best option? Probably not. No, it's not. I can tell you that from experience. It's not the best option, right? But you're allowing your ego to rule you, to make decisions for you. And so, yeah, man, like I said, yesterday was rough. Yesterday was rough for me mentally. Your boy shed a few tears, but it's like, but I understand. I understand this season that I'm in. And no matter how hard it gets, I'm not going to give up. There's no going back for me anyway, right? There's no going back for me. I don't have anywhere to go but up, you know what I mean? And so it's like, because it's like, just imagine if you can imagine when you get through this. Imagine looking back at this moment and this time period for yourself when you're like, man, whether you journal out, and you can, like, for me, I journal everything out so I can read it. I'm like, this is what I was feeling this day. This is how I was feeling this month, this week. And now look where I'm at. Like, I got through that, you know what I mean? And now I'm better. And it's just, I'm starting to achieve the things that I was striving for back then, to be able to go back and see that for yourself. So you just got to understand that look, you're going to make it. Believe in yourself. I'm going to make it. So there's the affirmation on my glass window, right? And it says, no matter how hard something is, I am dedicated to proceeding forward, knowing I will figure it out. No matter how hard something is, I am dedicated to proceeding forward, knowing I will figure it out. That's one of my affirmations on my window, on my bathroom. And honestly, I don't read that a lot. I read it this morning multiple times, but you just believe, man. Keep going. Don't give up. Don't give up. Look at the other side. If you do give up, what is on the other side of there for you? A life that you don't want. Otherwise, you wouldn't be pursuing the one that you want now. All right. So just keep going. Take it one day at a time. Try and get 1% better each time. And do what I said. Lean on others. Have faith. Believe in yourself. Right. Talk it out. Journal. Physically work out. Get out, walk around and get some exercise in, clear your mind, and just keep going. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about, man. I appreciate you. If you guys are tuning into the podcast, if you're listening, please take a moment and, leave a rating on the show. I would greatly appreciate it. If you are watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. I'd love to try and help as many possible people as I can. And as always, man, as I always say, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks, fellas.